Most of our belief is on autopilot. We do things that we do casually, and sometimes we confuse the acts of worship for belief. And the act of worship might actually come out when there is no belief rooted in it, because it is just about something in automation, a mechanical, automatic system that is already there, bowing down, putting your head to the ground. Ibrahim alayhi salam was not like that. And with the question he had already asked about the idols, it reached a point where he needed to teach his own people a lesson that would bring the truth to them in ways that they themselves would be understanding it clearer. And sometimes when you're teaching the truth, when you're spreading dawah, you don't need to back at people. You just need to bring out the truth, place it in their faces, in places where they can't even deny what is in front of them. At his time, his community had a festival, so they all had moved out to go and celebrate. What he did, he goes inside the temple with an axe, and he breaks down every small idol. He puts it to the ground, and he leaves the largest idol, and he puts the axe on the shoulder of the bigger idol. So the community comes back. They look at a big idol standing in front of them with an axe on its shoulder. Alongside it, around it, just debris of idols that have been smashed down. In a lot of mesmerization, they're like, who did this to our gods? These idols are gods to these people. Ibrahim just looks at them as statues. They actually look at them as their gods. And if they're the gods, why aren't they able to help themselves? Why do they require the help and assistance of someone else to fight for them, to defend them, to demand who broke them down? And when rumors move around that it was Ibrahim alayhi salam is brought to the court. Are you the one who did this with our idols? They all were asking. So Ibrahim alayhi salam says, بَلْ فَعَلَهُ كَبِيرُهُمْ. The largest idol did this to those idols. فَاسْأَلُوهُمْ إِنْ كَانُوا يَنْتِقُونَ. Ask them if they really can speak. And now Ibrahim alayhi salam is like, these things can't even speak. They can't speak on their own to say who did this to them. And so you needed me to come to you to tell you who did this to. So I am more powerful in this sense than your idols, because I know who did this to your idols, and your idols do not know. And how does this apply to us? So sometimes you are so much devoted to something that it requires it to be put out of your life for you to know that actually it doesn't speak. So when you come back and you ask, who did this to my God? Of course, you won't say my God, because you don't call them God. It's a different form of shirk that is happening. You will be asking, who did this to my loved one? Who did this to my job? Who did this to this trend? Who did this to my following? Who hacked my account? You'll be doing all that because you're so much devoted to them. And now what happens when they are all unraveled? When they are all brought to the ground? The question is, if they're really having ability to speak, if they have the ability to defend themselves, so let them speak. فَاسْأَلُوهُمْ. Then ask them, إِنْ كَانُوا يَنْتِقُونَ. We are not really deserving of putting things that actually can't speak to make them our gods. These things are not responsible for our life. They are not responsible for how our day-to-day programs are moving. The programs inside our bodies, the programs inside our thoughts, they are not responsible. And we put our devotion to them, that without them we can't be. And we are like, فَاسْأَلُوهُمْ إِنْ كَانُوا يَنْتِقُونَ. If those things can actually speak, ask them. And when I say speak, I don't mean the speaking, because you might be saying, my wife speaks. You might be saying, my husband actually speaks and I'm devoted to them. That's not the speaking Ibrahim alayhi salam is talking about. He's using speaking to show how immobile they are. But for your spouse, for your parent, for your child, the question would be, do they really help you? Is it really that without them, you can't be there? Is it really that without them, you can't be sustained? If the answer to that question is, even without them, I can be sustained, you are beginning on a very beautiful journey, a journey of understanding who are we supposed to be giving undoubted devotion. That even when these idols crack down, we are still devoted to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe the last thing I would mention here is that Ibrahim alayhi salam is not ridiculing the beliefs of his people. Of course, he knows they are wrong. But what he does is that he breaks down the idols, not out of animosity. He wants his community, his tribe to learn something on their own. If the issue was about him being aggressive to bring down all the idols, then why does he leave the largest idol? And logic would suggest that the essence was not that he's being aggressive with his people. He wants these people, he wants his community to come up to the realization on their own. Because sometimes if you are a young boy, you don't dictate what society is supposed to believe in. And he wants them to realize it on their own, that these things actually do not benefit. So the next time you are breaking idols that people believe in, do it in the name of assisting them realize that these things can't help them. But if it is out of animosity, this is not something that our tradition teaches us, and Allah knows best.